So cool. Welcome to Goes to 11 Pedal Show. I'm this guy Mason, and this is this guy Eric. we're on our journey.
Playing green guitar and
thing guitar.
A sunburst.
So we're going for the single coil magic because you know sparkle ponies.
Yeah. Delay time.
Yeah, we're gonna be checking out some delays, and so I thought I love delay. Delay is one of those things that, you know, for what I went through a spell where it was a crutch.
Yeah.
And so now I can walk free now if I need to, but sometimes it's still delay. I love delay. It's real fun. It's a fun effect to use. It's real spacious. But what I did is I assembled these 3 different types of delays. I don't have a big tape unit, in case you're wondering. Somebody howled when they watched that right now on YouTube. What? You don't have a... Yeah. So I got a digital delay, the Boss DD5, and that's obviously the digital clean sound and pristine, pretty tones. How do you get this? I'm not getting this. The digital repeats just
could go on forever.
Robots have made them in robot factories, and it can go on forever. And the carbon copy is analog. It's using bucket brigade, so it's the old messy. It's not robots. It's dwarves, very small
dwarves,
and they're passing along the signal, but they're dwarves, and occasionally some spill out of the bucket, and you know that's what's gonna. And that's the analog. It's an older technology, and then we have the kind of what I'm calling the hybrid. So like the JHS, and you've seen this a lot now. Walrus Audio just came out with one a couple months back, where they're taking digital signal processing, but they're adding in controls they're adding controls that allow you to turn it more this tape analog. So those are the artifacts that you find in the delays. So that we're gonna be looking at the digital, the analog, and then the kind of that hybrid-y world. And I don't mean hybrid meaning it has analog chips in it, but that it's hearkening to, it wants to act like a thing. So let's give it a shot. And thanks for letting me borrow the GHS thing here. We're gonna do some jerry rigging here, but this is my clean tone. That's pretty clean. Remember I had to learn that. That's spanky. Who wants to even play delay when you can? And you know, how pretty those delays are. Exact clones of one another.
So it could go on forever. This is.
The level of it.
Yeah.
Try to get rid of that. But then compare that just with a carbon copy. You notice how the repeats kind of get murky?
Yeah.
It loses a lot of the fidelity on the top end and stuff like that. And it's obviously it's delay. It's doing the same thing. Except it just sounds different.
You can't roll the high end off of the repeats on this.
Not on the Boss. It's that, and it's a great sound. But it's easy to get lost. Like especially if I start getting a lot of repeats and being real busy, it just. I'm bumping up the mix and the regen, which is how much it feeds back into itself.
What's that do?
You hear that modulation that's been added now to the repeats?
There is a little wobble in there, isn't it?
So you can get those full on. So it's a chorusing effect that's added to the. And you can get into the self-oscillation fun land with analog delay much more so. I mean, you can't really get the. Let's see if you can. So you know about self-oscillation, right? With analog delays.
No, tell me. Please do.
That was great. Oh man, I love you, Eric. If I crank up the regen, I mean,
Yeah.
starts to take over.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
So it's freaky and like,
yeah.
you know, you see guys. That is awesome and fun to do. Except sometimes people that's the crutch area where people can be like, I can't really play the thing, but I make it sound like monsters.
Yeah.
But it is still fun to do. If you have an analog delay, I know you've done that. It's fun. Not gonna lie, it's great. It's
Cool.
It's fun
Yeah,
to
I've
do.
never
But
had an analog delay.
think,
So.
I don't believe that Boss does it. Well, let's give it a shot. See what happens. Actually,
Okay.
before I forget, that might be. Well, the setting I'm having doesn't change the tempo. Okay. Well, come on. This is like modes. I don't know what the heck. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. So if I crank all this stuff up. So
Let's see if this will do it.
okay, well, you notice how that was cool. That's way more robot-y and it's digital.
Yeah,
that sounds like something
yeah.
is happening digitally, whereas this one sounds, for lack of a better term, analog. There you go.
There
Very
you
technical
go.
terms,
There you
guys.
go.
Oh,
Nuts.
definitely doesn't do self-oscillation.
No.
But that was. I mean, that was
Something weird.
different than the Boss for sure, as far as what it was doing.
Yeah.
Whoa. If you cut the dark, so it's doing less of the dark on that setting. That's freaky. That's
Yeah.
wild and crazy. So, no, folks, it doesn't do self-oscillation. But it's crazy because it's however the programming for the digital clock thingamajig, insert technical term here, and to make me sound very intelligent and smart, like I know what I'm doing, is it obviously does it differently in such a way that creates
Yeah.
entirely different digital artifacts.
But not like.
Not like that.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, you
Yeah.
here. We're gonna swap over here. We lost our little AB switch. It died. It didn't like us anymore. So We go old-fashioned. I actually plugged the thing in. They're fairly close. It's fairly similar, digital, clean, pristine sound. I do know that which way does the dark switch work? Sorry. Hold on.
I think that's bright, so...
I'm sorry, I just turned you off for a second. Which way does the dark switch work?
This is bright, so more digital if it's cranked up. And I
then
think that's
more-
more analog. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's actually compare.
Do I have that backwards? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's darker
See how
tones.
muddled that is.
And let's hear this. So theoretically, with the dark all the way down, we're in analog territory. Let's just kind of hear how they sound. Give me a cling and cut the signal. Okay.
They're trying to match it.
I buy
you
it.
can tell.
I buy it. You know, it's doing some of the things. So one of the nice things about this type of delay, I mean, why would you want it to do? Why would you want it to do that? Why would you want it to lose fidelity? And that, for me, has always been answered with overdrive, because or lead work. So if I'm doing lead work, and if it's texture work, sure, the beautiful, pristine, long delays, and I use them a lot. But if I'm doing any sort of lead work and stuff like that, you'll notice how, like, let's just take the GHS. Oh, what's that? You hear that? And I'm doing any sort of lead work. I'm going to just hack my way with a dull machete through a pretend lead here. I don't have backing tracks, man. I need backing tracks. So. But those long, perfect delay copies just start to get in the way.
Yeah.
And but maybe they should have gotten into the way of that lead. I think anything getting in the way of that lead would have been awesome. But the idea being that when it cuts out, loses some of the fidelity, it starts to become kind of this pad underneath, and you still hear the attack and because we've got the mixes. I mean, not even that much on that GHS, and it was already like stomping all over any sort of
Yeah.
meedly. That's what we call it, meedly.
That's the technical term. Yeah, but if you're doing something more rhythm,
Yeah, definitely rhythm. It doesn't stand in the way. The analogs don't. but I do like that function. So getting that dark down, getting the mix down, maybe similar. Oops. Oops. That. That's still long. But then, let's see. Yeah, cool.
Cool, man.
So we've discovered some stuff like that. Before we're getting the time signal from this guy Curtis. Who put him in charge? Who put him in? He can control everything that's happening because he has the camera. I just want to hear that tape switch.
Oh, right.
There's a tape switch on the side of this JHS.
Well, it's been on the tape. But
Oh, it has been on the tape.
Yeah.
Wow.
let's see what the digital
Like, oh my
is.
gosh. Oops. Oops. So swap it over, let's see.
That should be clear digital. You're a little different.
Something, little tiny bit, and maybe it's more of a difference on the mod. I don't really know, but there's something happening. It does affect the.
Oh, and also it has this mod. It has a light modulation.
I don't even hear it. Oh, I hear that.
Hear that.
Go back to the light. Okay. If you put it back to the light mod, I'm gonna just see how it hears compared to this kind of thing here, and then we'll be then we'll wrap it.
Yeah.
Before we get fired.
Pretty similar mod.
Cool. Well, I think we just we mined in the mines of Moria. That's where delays come from. And there you go. That's some stuff. So let us know in the comments, what are your favorite delays? And if you've never tried that with an analog delay, go get yourself an analog delay and try that.
I learned
the
that
animals
today.
and monsters will be summoned from the depths. So, as all good things, they all need to be on at once, which is going to be stupid. I already know. Here you go. Hold on here. And this is going to be Goes to 11 Pedal Show. Transported to another dimension. That was dumb.